everyone, I'm Keisha White and I am a brand and web designer. I help consultants, coaches, and other professional service providers create a lead generating digital presence that attracts high caliber clients and opportunities. I have both a 1-page website option and a 5-page website option. So you can get the information on those at the link in the description. And then I also have an option if you are in the very beginning stages of starting your business and you're not ready to invest in done for you brand and web design yet, then you can join the branding club and you can get information in there on how to DIY your brand and website. And you can also learn marketing strategies to get your first clients in there as well. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about what you should write on your website. And I want to talk about this. This is oftentimes one of the biggest challenges that people have when they are getting a website done, especially if they're choosing not to hire a copywriter. I will say copywriters are very underrated, but I love them. I love recommending them to my clients if those clients don't necessarily have the time and the bandwidth to write their own website copy and they have the budget to hire that professional copywriter. I always recommend that they do that because then the copywriter is they're an expert in writing and in words and in writing for websites, so they can just take it all off their plate and they don't even have this problem anymore. But I know oftentimes everybody's in a different place, so you may be in a place where you have to write your own website copy, which is totally fine. How I started too, I started writing my own copy too in the beginning. So I'm going to share a little bit of a framework about what you should be writing on your website for it to be effective. And so before I get into that, I want to talk about why being strategic with the website copy is important. And so the reason why is because the website is supposed to be a tool that is selling your services on your behalf. And so that tool that's going to do a lot of the communication is going to be the words that are on the website. And those words are kind of serving almost like your salesperson. So as people are reading about what you have to offer, they should be getting persuaded towards working with you as they read that website copy. And so in order for it to do the website to do its job and to persuade people properly, you need to have certain types of information on the website so it can do its job, because a lot of times people think they can just throw anything up there on their website, and just because they check the box and a website is on the internet, that everything is great and everything is fine. But that's not true. If you lack certain types of information on the website, or if the website copy is not even persuasive in the first place and it's just really generic and it lacks benefits, it lacks just the intentionality that it needs to communicate to your ideal clients, then it's not really going to do its job. So then, yeah, sure, you're going to have a website on the internet, but it'll be an ineffective website. So we don't want you to have a website that's ineffective. We want you to have a website that actually works and that helps you to attract more leads and more inquiries. And so if you follow the framework that I'm about to share for each page, then you're definitely going to see much better results. And so the framework that I'm going to share is for service-based business owners. So if you sell products, this framework really doesn't necessarily apply for you necessarily, but I specialize in working with service-based businesses, so this is why I'm focused on sharing this. So I'm going to share what the basics are for each page on a service-based website, including the home page, the about page, the services page, and a content page and a contact page. So those are kind of like your 5 basic pages that most service-based businesses are going to have. And so there are certain buckets of content that I recommend for each of those pages. So next I'm going to do a quick screen share, like walking you through it and through what buckets of content I recommend for each of those pages if you are a service-based business owner. So here we have an overview of what to write on a typical 5-page website for a service-based business. So I'm going to go through it page by page. We have a home page, a services page, an about page, a content page, and a contact page. So first, for our services page, for our home page. So for a home page, it is basically a summary of all the other pages on your website. So the first thing you want to do on a homepage is introduce what you do. So you want a headline stating what you do and who you do it for, because you want to make it very easy for people to figure out if the service is for them and what kind of service it is. Because I have seen websites sometimes where people make it too mysterious and you have to kind of scroll down or go to their about page to figure out what do they even do. But you want it to be clear right at the top of your homepage so people don't have to do detective work to figure it out. And then underneath the headline, you want a sub headline that would be 1 to 2 sentences stating the benefits of what you do. Because if you're selling a service, typically your pricing is going to be a higher price where it's probably costing like $1,000 and more. So you always want to be communicating about the benefits of what you do. And then the button here would be your what's considered your primary call to action. And a primary call to action for a service-based business is usually a prompt to schedule a discovery call or to submit an inquiry form. And then underneath the top banner, you want to have a section about either your press or like some notable clients. So these squares here will represent logos. So you could put press logos here of places where you have been featured. Or if you're a consultant, you could put company logos here for notable companies where you've done consulting work for. And this helps to boost your credibility really quick from the start to have those press logos near the top of the page. And then here, you always want to have an email opt-in near the top of the page as well, because over 90% of your website traffic is not ready to buy today. And if your only call to action is the prompt to schedule a discovery call or to submit an inquiry form, you're missing out on a lot of potential future clients. So you always want to have an email opt-in option for people who are probably are on the fence and aren't ready to buy right away. And I also encourage you to do this in a pop-up too. So you want to have email pop-up on your site as well, in addition to this. So you want to have the title of the email download and then a description about what are they going to get in the download and what's the benefit of downloading it. And then up next, you want to have a section about your business. So this would be about whatever your business name here in the headline there. And then you want to have a paragraph that overviews what you do in your business and that kind of describes some of the impact that your business has made with past clients. And then the button here will go to the about page, which would tell people more about your business in more detail. And then the next section is summary of services. So you always want to provide an overview of the service types. So I have 3 here because sometimes people, when they offer a service, they may have multiple services. So you want to have information on each one, which is the type of service, whether it's consulting or maybe one might be coaching or one might be speaking. And then you want to have a description of each service type. And then each of these buttons would take someone over to the service page for that particular service. So like this could take people to, if it was consulting, it would take them to a consulting page to get the details. If this was coaching, it would take them to the coaching page to get all the details. And if this was speaking, it would take them to the speaking page to get all the details. So again, homepage is summarizing everything else on the website. So we have your about page kind of being summarized there. We have your services being summarized here. And then you want to show off some client testimonials on a homepage too. I like to start strong with those on a homepage. And then the last thing that we summarize is content. So if you do a blog or you have a podcast or even a YouTube channel and you want to publicize your first few posts here on the blogger podcast section, this is considered like a summary of your content section. So you may have those first few posts and then the post title and then read more. And this would go over to the full post. And then since this is considered a summary, you just want to have the first 3. And then the more post button would take them to the full content page to get all the details. And that is it for the homepage. This bottom area is the footer. So I always like to have another email opt-in for the footer. So this way people get another reminder to join your email list. And you can put the same text from above on the homepage down here. And then these little circles here represent social media links. And then here in the footer, you want to have your contact information and then any legal documents. So that concludes the homepage. And our next page is a services page. So here's what to say on a services page. And this would apply for any service, whether you're doing speaking or consulting or coaching. or any other service, like whether it's financial advising or accounting or copywriting or even photography, services page can follow this same flow for all services. So first, you want to have a headline stating the service type, so it's very clear. And of course, this may kind of overlap a little from the homepage, but that's okay because the website is all about you and what you do, so it should be on brand and continuing to say the same thing in different ways in each page. So here we have your headline stating your service type, and then a sub headline talking about the benefits of the service. And then you want to have your primary call to action, telling people to schedule a discovery call or to inquire. And then first you want to empathize. So first you want to have a section that overviews the pain points of your target clients to kind of empathize with them, and then to show like this is why you need this service. I understand what you're going through now, and I have a solution that's in store for you. So you want to empathize with like 5 short bullet points overviewing the pain points of your target clients. And then you want to go into a benefit section. So the benefit section, you can overview about 5 bullet points that show what the benefits are that the target clients are going to get from working with you. So how is it going to create a change for them? What things are going to get better for them after they work with you? What kind of impact is the service going to make for them? Are they going to save time? Are they going to save money? Are they going to get clarity and not be confused anymore about their, like for accounting, for example, like are they going to get clarity around their finances? Or their career coach, maybe they're going to get a clear path on how to get the career that they really desire, or how to switch careers, or just whatever the benefits are that your service offers. Overview those benefits here and the outcomes that clients can expect from investing in your service. And then your process for working with clients. So this just should overview how people can work with you and what you're going to do when they basically come on board. So what's your first step of your process, and then have a description. Your second step, have a description. Third step, have a description. And this is great if you're doing a business to consumer service. So if you're a career coach, or you're a financial advisor, you're an accountant, copywriter, photographer, designer, our processes sound great when we overview them on our websites. And the only service that this wouldn't really apply to is maybe consulting, because sometimes with consulting, with clients I've had before, we just do an overview of each consulting type on the page because the steps tend to be different depending on the client they're consulting for. But for the rest of us who have more of a concrete step-by-step process for our services, we can overview it here, and it makes us sound like we have a clear plan in store for our clients. Then we have an inquire button there, and then we have testimonials again, because you always want to have your testimonials on the actual services page too, since that's where people are probably in the contemplation phase of whether they want to hire you or not. So I want to have testimonials again, and this can be the same testimonials from the home page. And then next, a frequently asked questions section. So if there's questions that you anticipate people asking, like whether it's hesitations about investing in the service, or it's things that you feel like people ask you repeatedly and you don't want to have to keep answering those same questions over and over again, you can have a frequently asked questions section to overview those things here on the page. And then our last section will be a section about you, the founder of the business. So you want to have a little bit about you on the page to just kind of establish authority a bit more, and talk about your background, what you do, what qualifies you to do this work, why you do the work, and a little quick overview of successes that past clients have had. So that helps to establish some authority, and it can be short and sweet because the about details are going to be on the about page. But this is just something quick, short, and sweet to show like, okay, this is why I offer this service, and this is what qualifies me to offer this service to you. And then our next page is the about page. So for the about page, you want to have your headline here that says about, and then has your company name here. And then you want a sub headline that has 1 to 2 sentences summarizing what you do. So this may be a little bit of a play on what was on the home page, but maybe you phrase it a little differently. And then the first section on the about page would be your mission of your company. So you want to have, what is the mission of your business? What are you out to do? What impact is your business going to make on people? And then the next section is company value. So it's always nice to show what your company values are and what principles you operate by. So you want to have at least 3 values that show these are the principles that guide the way I operate in business, whether it's caring for people or pride in our work or just whatever is appropriate for you. You want to have the title of each value or the name of each value, and then a description of each value underneath it. And these are nice things for branding and kind of setting you apart in your industry when you have your values articulated. And then finally, this can be repeated from the services page, but just that short overview about you, the founder, a little bit about who started the business. Because the reason why I put the about at the bottom is because most of the time with service businesses, they're trying to appear that they are a business maybe with some staff or with a team, or they're like a company type of thing where it's not just a one person operation. So if you position it as about the founder, you make yourself sound like you're the founder and then there's other people associated with you, and you kind of make yourself more of a background figure in the company because you're focused on mission and values, and then the part about you is kind of more of a smaller piece just about who started the company. And then I always like to have a call to action button on the about page because I always think like on the about page, you need to give people something to do. You don't want them to just leave the about page and not have anything to do at the bottom. So I always like to have a button that goes over to the services page from the about page. And it's also good too because the about page is the second most visited page after the home page. So if somebody's reading all about your company and they get to the bottom, and then they can be led over to find out more about the services. And then last little thing, you can repeat your press features or your notable clients at the bottom of the about page too, to just kind of hit that authority home again. Just hit home with the authority that you have. So it would be the same like logos from the home page. And then down here at the bottom, we have our footer again. And our next page is the content page. So this content page could apply whether you publish blog content or podcast content or YouTube content. So you want to have the name of whatever it is, whether it's podcast name or some kind of introduction to the blog, and then like a subheadline that states 1 to 2 sentences saying what they're going to get out of your content. And then typically with a blog or something, there's usually places to subscribe, whether people go subscribe on iTunes or on Spotify. I was about to say Shopify, but on Spotify or SoundCloud or whatever people are using now. So you want to have the links for your buttons for where people can go subscribe to your podcast. And then if you're doing a YouTube channel, definitely link out to your YouTube channel. And then you can have content categories. So this helps people to sort through your content a bit easier. So if you have specific topics that you cover, you can have this content category. And if they click on it, it'll show posts just in that one category, then the second category and third category. And then down here, you can show your first. I usually like to stop this at 3 rows. And then if somebody has more content than that, they can just click more posts and see the full content list. But on a content page, to just make it easy to digest, I like to have 3 rows summarizing the first 9 pieces of content. So it would be the title of the post or the YouTube title or the podcast title. And then if they click read more, it'll go into the details of the blog post or the episode details or the video details here. And you can embed videos into your website. If you're using this for YouTube, you can always embed your YouTube video into a website. And then if you're using it for podcasts, inside of the write up about the podcast episode, you can have the little podcast player embedded into the write up about the podcast episode. Like when they click read more, it'll go into podcast details, and the podcast player can get embedded into the podcast details page. And then, of course, this can serve read more, can serve as a details page for a blog post too. And then at the bottom, our email opt in again. And then our final page is a contact page. So you always want a contact page because you need to make it easy for people to contact you and get in touch with you, because when they want to buy something, you don't want to make it hard for people to find you, or if they want to get in touch with you for a podcast request or interview request or anything, it needs to be easy to get in touch with you. So we have the top just introducing the contact page. And then on this page too, it's nice to also
add your frequently asked questions here again, because sometimes people can find their answer on the FAQs area before they actually submit a contact form. So if you're someone who you're finding that people keep asking the same questions over and over, through your contact form, maybe you want to include FAQs on the contact page so they can see their answer before they submit the form. And then I always advise people to put their email address for their business on the contact page too, or you can hyperlink this to your email address, because sometimes people may want to just send a direct email versus filling out a form. So this way you make it easy. They can either email you, submit the form, or they can just get the answer to their question through the FAQ section.
Okay, so I hope that was helpful for you to tell you how to write for your website so it can do its job of persuading people to work with you and selling your services on your behalf. So if you want to work with me for brand identity design and website design, you can get the information at the link in the description with this video. And you can also get the information on the branding club as well if you want to DIY your brand and website at the link in the description too. And yeah, thanks so much for checking out the video. And make sure you like, share, and subscribe so you can be notified whenever I upload. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.